My name is Becky Arnold and this is my fellowship application. Who am I? I have just started the third year of my astrophysics PhD at the University of Sheffield, and I have funding up until October 2019. And the focus of my research is on doing computer simulations of star clusters. Star clusters take millions and millions of years to evolve, so when we observe them, we only see a snapshot. Therefore, computer simulations are essential if we want to study the entire lifetimes of these clusters. The main software I use to run the simulations is Starlab, though I've gone in and made my own tweaks to that. And the majority of what I do day to day is write software to analyse these simulations and pull information out about how these clusters evolve. What do I do? There are already methods out there of quantifying spatial structure of star clusters. And these methods are extremely useful, extremely powerful, and very well used. They've helped us understand how substructured a cluster is and how that changes over time, where the massive stars form and move, which informs us about how stars form as a whole. So these are valuable. But there aren't similar methods out there for quantifying velocity structure in star clusters, which up until this point has made a lot of sense, because up until this point there hasn't been an awful lot of high quality velocity information available. But that's rapidly changing as Gaia and other telescopes are giving us a lot of high quality velocity information. So what I'm doing is trying to come up with a method for quantifying velocity structure in star clusters. Why should you fund me? Something you mentioned on your website you're looking for is somebody who's good at science communication, and I like to think that that's a skill I have. At the Doctoral Academy Conference, I won Best Science Talk. This was talks on our research to PhD students from across the university. So a lot of the people in my audience were humanities students, and I had to be able to explain my research to them. I also won the L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science PhD poster competition. This wasn't just judged on our poster, we were also interviewed about our research by scientists from other disciplines, and we had to be able to explain our research to them. I should also mention over 500 people entered this competition. They picked 2 winners, of which I was one. The White Rose workshop on computationally efficient modelling and simulations, I won Best Talk. I'm very early career, but I do have some experience of running events. I ran the Astrophysics Group's Journal Club last year, so I have some experience of, booking rooms, emailing people to make sure they're available, getting everybody in the same place at the same time, that kind of thing. If awarded this fellowship, something I really want to do is to change the way, particularly the Astrophysics Group, thinks about coding. As physicists, as I imagine, like in many disciplines, we were taught to code to get the thing we need done at that specific moment done as quickly as possible to move on. We were taught to code, but we were never taught to code well in terms of style, efficiency, or sustainability. And I want to give us the opportunity to improve in that, and also to change the way we think about coding from just a stepping stone to part of the science. If I was awarded the fellowship, I would divide the funds between travel to go to conferences and so on, and also for crack meetings, which despite the name doesn't actually have anything to do with drugs. The most extreme substances at these meetings are probably biscuits. Crack meetings are code review and collaboration club, where we come together. These are meetings we've been having for about a year and review each other's code, collaborate and teach each other useful techniques. I was actually joking when I proposed that as a name, but it got the most votes, so there we are. Example of a typical meeting, I gave a talk on how to combine Fortran and Python to get the best of both worlds. As astrophysicists, we deal with huge quantities of data, and the number crunching can take a long time, even though the equations involved are often very simple. Therefore, Python is actually the dominant language in the astrophysics group, but it's pretty slow when it comes to number crunching, certainly compared to Fortran. So I gave a talk showing people how they can write really small, simple functions in Fortran that just do these little equations and import them into Python like any other function. And by doing that, you can get all the speed up of Fortran with all the benefits of writing the majority of your code in Python. And doing this can give a speed up of a factor of 10 easy. So these are really useful skills for us to teach each other, and these meetings have been helpful. If I was given the fellowship, I would use the funds to get software specialists and programming specialists to come into these meetings and give the astrophysics group talks on how to improve our style, efficiency and sustainability of our code, and maybe even some one-on-one sessions to improve our coding and the way we think about it. I would also really benefit from this fellowship because I'm kind of considering going into research software engineering, but I'm not sure. I might continue with astrophysics. The workshops and networking opportunities this fellowship would give me would be extremely helpful in making up my mind on that. And also, if I do decide to go into research software engineering, the contacts I would develop as part of this would be very, very valuable to me. So thank you very much for listening to this, and thank you for your consideration.